better than I'll ever. Just like piloting, you're a better pilot than I'll ever be.
All right,
Hello.
we're recording.
No, you're not.
Yeah, we are.
Oh shoot.
All the perfection, all the things, all the doodads. So we have to come up with a name. War on the Well Cars is not in good taste as of recent days. Well car something. Well car what?
I don't know.
All right, we'll come up with the name as we go.
Name as we go. Oh my gosh.
So today we're going to review everything I could get a hold of for well cars, not just intermodal cars, but well cars specifically, basically available in the last 5 years or so. So this is stuff you can buy new in a hobby shop, find in very good condition at a show, or find still new at a show or at a hobby shop that just hasn't sold off the shelf. And speaking of hobby shops with stock and things you can get, that's been around for a little bit, check out www.hiawathahobbies.com. They have a huge selection. They got a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of intermodal, and they helped me out with this episode along with Superior Scenics right here, which, by the way, this is Dave of Superior Scenics. Huge channel sponsor, huge help, and we have a lot of fun on his layout. So if you appreciate that, like and subscribe and share if you don't mind.
Please.
So we're going to go over a couple of things. Basically, we're going to pull everything out of the tub here, and we're going to kind of just go over it. The numbers on the box may not necessarily match the car because I've got a lot of equipment, and matching everything up is going to take forever. So just a kind of general description here. We have the Walthers Proto rebuilt all-purpose 40-foot well car. And this is this is the as-built Gundersen all-purpose 48-foot well car, BNSF. And the big difference between these two is this one's got trailer hitches on it, so you could actually park a trailer in there.
That is kind of nice, by the way.
And we're going to start off. There's 3 different categories. There's the singles, the triples, and the octuplets. No, that's 8. What's 5? Penta sets. 5-car sets. Next up, we got the Walthers Thrall rebuilt 40-foot well car. These are a great value. They're die cast, just like these guys are. They hold great, and they're a shorter wheelbase, so they're great for smaller radiuses and layouts. Here we've got an Intermountain. This is a Husky stack container car. I've also got an Athearn version of this. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the main differences are, because this is a $30 car versus, and this is an older car too, that I bought new at Hiawatha. It was just old stock that had been sitting around, and they brought it out and from storage, and I bought it. Yeah. Well, this was $30. I don't know how many years ago. And here's Athearn ready to roll, and this is $25.99, and this is another 48-foot Husky stack. I think these guys are basically the same thing, just 2 different railroads. So when we get them out, we'll check that out. The last single car we have here is the Gundersen Husky stack. This is Ferromix from Proto. This is a die-cast car. This has got a lot more weight to it and a lot more detail, and this was $34.95, also from Hiawatha Hobbies. If you wouldn't mind sliding those over there for me, Dave. Now for the triples, probably the big 3 that I'm familiar with for triples, other than Athearn. I don't think I got an Athearn triple in here. I think I just got the 5-packs. So we've got the Atlas triple. This is $119.95 was the list price on this. This is the Providence and Worcester Thrall 53-foot articulated well car. And for those of you that don't know, the 53-foot is the maximum size container that they'll take. And 53-foot, you don't see that a whole lot these days anymore. You see a lot of 40 and 45s, don't you?
There's a lot of cost in it. I think a lot of guys backed off the cost. Maybe that's it. You just don't see the 53s around.
So, but going on, next up, we've got the Cato. I've heard a lot of good things, a lot of comments on Facebook and whatnot about these, that they do great. I know my friend Lee Melton loves these cars. He's got a bunch of them. They ran great on his layout. I expect they'll probably do pretty well here. I don't have the price on these guys. I'll have to look it up, and I'll drop it in the video right here for you. Last but not least, for the 3-packs, we've got a set of A-line Pacer stack train cars. This is the Maxi 4 stack car, late Pacer. I don't think I've ever had A-line. You've got some A-line, don't you? And you like them.
I do. I've got 3 A-lines right now, Gundersens. I would personally, I would like to have more. I just kind of like the way they look. It's the older A-lines that had the very high ends on them.
So continuing with the A-line trend, we've got a 5-pack of the twin stacks here.
There it is.
From what I understand, these aren't popular in the U.S. anymore, but the Panama Canal Railway uses these because I saw this on a movie, so don't quote this, but from what I understand, they love these cars because per customs, you cannot have access to the doors to be able to open without it being searched or something, so the Canal Railroad uses this to go from one side to the other instead of bringing the whole ship through. I'll have to double check that. If I can find that video, I'll drop that right here too. So here's our first 5-pack to review. Next up we have Athearn, who is like the king of packaging. Let's put this in the biggest box possible, as opposed to the other 5-pack that we have, which really could be, this could be in the same size box. There's no need to have it this big. But this is the Santa Fe Maxi 3 well cars. So we've got the 4, we've got the 3, 2 different manufacturers, and then if I'm not mistaken, the Intermountain / A-line are plastic car bodies, correct?
Yeah, the ones that I've got.
Okay, I'm sure these are the same. Athearn's plastic as well, and these guys retail for $155, on sale at Hiawatha for $125. So these cars, when they were new, went for $120. I bought them at a show for $140, and based on the quality and stuff compared to these, I'd rather have those anyways, from what I'm familiar with, but that's why we're doing the review. So there's those, and then these are Maxi 1 well cars, and these are early. These are Southern Pacific, and this was $170 new, $135.99 on sale at Hiawatha Hobbies. So again, big shout out to them. They've got a ton of Intermodal in stock. It's insane. Now going back a little ways, we've got a 3-car set of the old Walthers ready to roll. I think this is just regular Walthers. This is before Proto. But the tooling, nothing's changed on these that I'm aware of. The only thing I've done to these is couplers. Nowadays they come with metal couplers anyway, so I don't think that's going to throw the review any. And I don't have a price. These cars went initially at Hiawatha years ago for $40 for these 3 cars. $40. Can you imagine buying a 3-pack of cars for $40 today?
Not anymore.
So I was sorry, because that is another 3-car set. I do not have the single version of that set there. Those would be drawbar together. I have couplers because the drawbars went missing. I don't think that would really skew much of anything, but the last set we've got here for 5-packs, and this is the Thrall 5-unit rebuilt 40-foot well cars. These are the APL. These have been weathered. I don't think that's going to affect the performance at all, and it's got metal couplers on the end. Factory wheels and everything, other than being weathered and the couplers, nothing's really changed. They come with metal couplers on them these days, which is really nice. And then I don't think this has got the price on it. Oh, here, $97.98. And then I got them on a clearance somewhere for $35. You see that?
Yeah, $34.98.
I bet you. You know what? I bet you it was supposed to be $134.98, and I probably paid $98 for it. I bet you that was. It's probably what that was. There's nowhere you're gonna buy those for $35. So we'll get this tub out of here, and what do you say we start unboxing some?
Sure. Which one first?
How about you pick first? You pick one, and I'll pick one. We'll assemble them. So.
Well, we'll start. Do you want me to shove these away?
Actually, you know what? How about this? You pull them out, set them over here. I'll put them on the track, and we'll kind of do a little review as we pull them out. Tell me your thoughts on those as you're pulling it out there.
The Walthers main line?
Yes, sir.
It looks nice coming out of the box. It's well packaged. It has definitely a weathering to it, which is nice. Very heavy. The detail, well, to me, is very good, nice. All the pieces are definitely there, and for that, I would say it rates right up there quite high in my want list, I guess. So, here you go.
Something to say about these 2 cars is basically this is a 5-pack version of this, is all it is. Not a lot of difference, but what's really nice, and I'll show you guys some of the detail here on the ends. There's actually a decent amount of detail on these, and these you could pick up at a time for $20 to $25 a pop. I mean, that's a great deal these days, especially given the price and the state of things. I mean, the prices and the hobbies have just been going up. You want to start unboxing the next one, and I'll talk about this for a second. So one thing that's really nice about the well cars these days is things are built with better tolerances generally. But Walthers, they haven't really changed much in years, and that's all right because they've had a quality product all that time. Being die cast, generally metal wheel sets, especially in the new stuff. You might have plastic axles. With the Proto, you get metal axles now. But these guys have a nice weight to them. They roll real smooth. The only thing is when you get the tethered cars like this, not so much with the drawbar cars, but with the tethered cars where it's sitting on that pin, kind of like a semi and trailer. You got that fifth wheel there, and it's sitting on that pin. If you've got a rock in your track somewhere, sometimes that can affect the whole set and really cause some catastrophic problems. So you gotta kind of use what you know your layout can handle. And this is a great way. I mean, that's one of the reasons I'm doing this review. Is this layout has a lot of twists, turns, elevations, and everything. So we're gonna throw these cars through the gauntlet, all of them. Maybe not necessarily on the same train, but we're gonna throw everything we've got at these cars. I am so excited for this. You can ask him. When I came over today, I was like, I'm just over the top about this.
I figured I had to get some rope and tie him down. This Walthers Proto, I like it. The steel wheels, that's nice. That's a really nice thing to see anymore. It is a steel car. And I do like the fifth wheel plates on either end of this car. Detail, it's there. There's no question about it. The steel, it's got metal couplers. No, they've got a good one right here.
Cool. I'll take that over. Yeah, the big difference between the Walthers mainline and Proto is you'll get the see-through steel walkways on here. You've got a little bit more detail. You got some more hand-applied details on here. That's really nice to see. And then, I mean, metal axles, which is a nice step up. If you don't appreciate it, you know, you might be getting lucky with the plastic, but after a lot of use, after a lot of running, they can start to wear out a little bit, and you'll want to put metal axles in there. For the cost of the mainline cars, if I'm honest, I would just buy the mainlines and add the steel axles to those. That's just my personal preference.
This is the same one you got right there.
Has it got the hitches?
Nope.
Okay, it's not the same car. Not quite the same car.
Not quite
Close.
the same way. Doesn't have the fifth.
Close, but no cigar.
I don't have the fifth wheel plates on them.
So we're going to roll these guys out over here real quick while he's unboxing that one and telling you a little bit about it. It's probably not much different than the last one, though.
Not much difference. The only thing I see different on it is that it does not have the fifth wheel plate for setting a semi into it. So if that's going to be something to hold back on it, I can't see it being a problem. So yeah, no, this is a winner. It looks really nice.
Now you've got quite a few intermodal cars yourself here, not just the well cars, but TUFC and everything.
Yeah.
I think the only thing you're really lacking is maybe some of the 89-foot flats that would hold trailers. What are some of the things you've had to do to your cars to get them to run well together, or just in general, just to keep them on the track?
Over the years, by and large, the only thing that's a real hiccup with most of them have been couplers, which I switched out to primarily all KD number 5s is what I've got. Some people like different ones, but that's what I've been using. The other thing is, years ago, and that's where my cars primarily come from, is all plastic wheels. And I've changed everything over to steel these days. And now with these new cars coming along, looking at them, steel is getting to be the norm versus the unusual thing to see. So, but the companies are getting along a lot better about making their product. Trying to wipe out my own frame.
Yeah, definitely don't do that. These cars are not cheap. And with the way the market's been the last few years, I understand, you know, things are expensive, shipping's more expensive, production, manpower, everything is going up. So, I mean, just showing you some of the prices on the older stuff versus the new stuff is really starting to stand out. So he's got the Catos out now. What do you think about those? Oh, those aren't the
A-line. Good idea, wrong thing. Okay.
those look good.
What I like on here is the metal walkways. It's all the walkways that have got the holes in them for looking as prototypical as it can. The only thing with this, it is a plastic body, so you will have to weight your containers. Basically, to keep it on the ground. That's the big thing. Otherwise, I like to walk switches. But other than that, the detail is fantastic in this A-line. It does have steel wheels, and the details that I see on top of it are magnificent. So this is an ideal unit. I would not be shy at all on this.
So I'll give you guys a close-up here. These are some really nice cars. I mean, these look really good. Get this guy out of the box here. I mistook these for the Catos, but these look even better up close. It's the same color, and that color really pops, that blue. But those steel step walkways and everything, those etched metal, it was really nice. You got some extra detail on the trucks down here. And you were paying for these. I mean, $130. These were probably, what, a 3 or 5 year old run?
Not sure. It's been probably a while.
So my gut is saying 5 years. You've got your pin here for hooking everything up. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these do. These have, for a plastic car, I feel like these have a decent weight to them. So I'm looking forward to see how these do. Basically, everything in this review, I'm going to end up deciding if I'm going to keep or sell. And if I do decide to sell it, I'm probably going to end up doing a giveaway, which brings me to my next point. We have a little raffle going on. So if you go to www.superiorscenics.com between now and I think we're let's say end of April, when the last video of this series, there's a 4-part series, is done, for every $25 you get at checkout, put in Sean's Trains. Every $25 you spend before tax and shipping is going to be a ticket, and I think we're going to give away a $25 Superior Scenics gift card.
Yep.
We're going to give away one or more of these 5-packs, tuned up and everything. So whatever we do to these in this review, well, he's going to get one too. And
I doubt it.
And then I think we're going to end up giving away a locomotive. I'm not sure which one yet, but it's going to be a brand new locomotive. So when you go in, just make sure on checkout under discount code, correct?
Yes.
Put in Sean's Trains, and then every $25 you get, they're going to mark up a little number under your name, and we're going to get you guys some free stuff.
Looking at the Rapido, years ago, I was not familiar with Rapido as a name. It just did not ring a bell to me at all. But in the last few years, and talking to Sean and a couple other people that we run trains with, they always are talking about Rapido. And so I'm kind of like, well, what's the deal? So, and they're all talking what's, top shelf. Looking at this one right here, it is a metal body. It's got steel wheels. The details are absolutely top shelf. And I was looking at the box, and I don't know, when was that purchased?
Oh, I just got that late last year.
So at the time, it was a $35 bill for it. Not knowing Rapido before this, you know what, guys? This is probably a well-priced vehicle or car for what it. I mean, you're looking for a good product to run up and down your tracks. It's going to be weighted and stay on the tracks as you go through switches, because when you pick a switch, you're all over the place. I think this one's going to stay right there, right solid on the tracks.
Well, you nailed it. It definitely is a well car.
There we go. There's the name of the show. The Well Car. How well is your car?
So when we're testing these and actually... So when we're testing and actually running these cars, I'm going to have them split up into 3 different sets. And not just 3-packs, 5-packs. I'm going to kind of isolate it by weight class. So I'm going to have the die-cast metal stuff like this guy here and the Walthers together, and keep the plastic together. And we will eventually mix them up, but for the initial test, I want everything to be pretty comfortable in the environment that we're going to be running this in. and we are going to get in depth. For those of you who want to watch the whole thing, this is probably going to be about, we're already at 20 minutes. This is probably going to be a half hour, 45-minute video. Looking like maybe an hour to get through the rest of this. And this is just the initial review. We're going to go over and we're going to rank everything after we unbox it. And then the next video, we're going to test everything. Put it through a barrage of hours of testing. I'm hoping to get 8 hours of testing on all these cars with various containers and weights and placements in the train. Plastic up front, die cast in the rear. Everything, just to make sure we give everyone a fair shake. All right, what's next? It looks like you got the Intermountain car.
We got the Intermountain out. I'm looking at it. It's got steel wheels, which is nice. That's getting to be very normal. It's got a good coupler on it, which is nice. It's all plastic. Everything on it is plastic. The details, not as far as the Rapido goes and some of the other ones, as far as the detail, has not to the level of the other ones. But it is still, probably for the price, it's still not a bad car, but you're going to have to wait it.
Just looking at this here real quick, it does not look like they are not see-through walkways. There's a little bit of weight, not a whole lot. Like he was saying, I'm going to want to weight it down. And the details here, I mean, for Intermountain, it's older Intermountain. This is not something that I would spend $35 on now. Certainly when this came out, it might have been very nice then. The standards have risen. This is the equivalent of like an Athearn Husky stack, I would think. And actually, we're going to be able to compare them neck and neck right here, right now, because that's what he's unboxing. But for the money, I would definitely take the Rapido any day of the week. And actually, we're going to be able to compare 3 different Husky stacks, because we've got the Rapido, the Intermountain, and now the Athearn. Now, what do you see on there that's any different from this?
Then which one?
Versus the Intermountain here in the middle.
They're both plastic. They both have steel wheels.
How about steel axles?
Yeah, steel axles.
Steel axles?
Steel axles, yes. This has got a plastic coupler in it. The other ones had metal. The detail, actually, for an Athearn, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm degrading Athearn because I'm not. But if I'm going to compare side by side, I would say it's probably every bit as comparable as the other, what was that? Intermountain. There's one thing I see coming out of the box. Oh, there it is inside here. It's laying loose. Not a nice thing to see.
Oh, the brake wheel's broken off.
The brake wheel was off of it coming out of the box.
Okay.
So, not a grand thing to see, but I guess, being even coming out careful.
So that could have been in shipping, someone, you know, mishandling it at the hobby shop. You know, how many times has a car been pulled out before you get to it?
Yeah, people do that.
So I want to show you guys a couple of differences here between these cars to help see the difference. So I can't compare the brake wheels, unfortunately, but you can see the lettering on the air tanks maybe. If you go like this, you got lettering on the Intermountain air tank, but not the Athearn. Something else is if you look by the couplers, you've got a little bit more detail, and you've got some lettering on this guy as opposed to the Athearn. And then looking at the top here, what's funny is this doesn't have any airlines coming out of it, but the Athearn does. So that's just something interesting to take note of. On the side where there's nothing, there's not a whole lot of difference. I mean, small variations between the cars, just production dates, I'm sure. You know, and again, this is the Intermountain, this is the Athearn. And what did the Athearn say on the price on the box?
Oh, let me look.
I want to say it probably wasn't too far behind. So underneath, everything's the same actually.
$25.99.
Okay, so $5 cheaper, and this is much older. So this would probably be what, a $40 car now. So I mean, right here, swap out the couplers and go with the Athearn. That's what I'm thinking. But I will say, just holding these two right here, they're probably about the same weight. Maybe Athearn's got a little bit more. And also, there's no pockets in the Intermountain for containers to be held, whereas the Athearn has the little notches here for the containers to sit in and poke in. The Intermountain doesn't even have that. So this guy is going up in the show when I'm done with him. And if there's anyone who's interested in any of this stuff that I talk about getting rid of, feel free to leave a comment. We'll make it happen. I know some of the stuff is getting hard to find now, like that guy. There's a couple left at the hobby shop, but I don't know if they're readily available. This is the last one from Spring Creek Models, this Atlas car, and that's a Providence and Worcester. So if there's anything here that you guys are interested in, let me know. We'll definitely work something out. If not, we can get it to you in the raffle. What do we got here? It looks like you got Cato?
I got a Cato out. It is a metal car again. It's got steel wheels, which I like.
Metal axles? Because that's what I like.
Well, boy, it's hard to tell on that if they're metal.
Let me see.
But the thing I just seen on it that I'm kind of a little...
Oh, no, those are plastic axles.
They're plastic axles?
But it's metal. It looks like metal points.
Okay.
Which is interesting.
Okay. The thing that I noticed that really stood out to me, I'm not going to push on it because I don't want to break the car. But underneath, in this grid work underneath the car, it actually comes right loose. It is not fastened in the car. If you have issues of moving it around and setting it on something, you could probably break these right out real simple because they are not fastened.
That's good to know.
Other than that, I mean, the detail on it, it's very good. The lettering and all the things you see on it, it's what you would expect from a Cato. It's good. I don't know myself personally. Some guys they like it. Is the prototypical couplers. These are plastic. So if you've got a long train, now around here, when we're climbing hills, there's a lot of hills, like Sean said earlier, with a lot of twists and turns. I've ripped couplers right out, KD's number 5s, right out of cars. So, I mean, we're dealing weight. When we're pulling trains up a hill and you see guys with 1 or 2 burners on the front, you'll see me with 4, 5 burners at times. It's not because it looks cool, it's I need it. So when you're talking about cars that are possible rip it apart, this is one that's going to be yes.
So having seen these trains firsthand come apart, get stuck, derail, have issues just like the prototype does, he's not kidding. So one of his intermodal trains right here, one I've seen him take with like 3 or 4 engines up the grade, up to the upper level, has got 37 cars with containers. That's no joke. He is not playing games. And for those of you who may not know, when he says burners, he's talking engines.
Sorry.
He's got his time in running trains, and this layout will really put your locomotives, your rolling stock, everything to its limits. Ooh, that is not. Ooh, okay, so
they just drop on that little bit of a pin.
Well, no, it doesn't go down flat. You have to tilt it in a little bit, so it kind of locks in. It kind of locks in, which is nice. So right here we've got the A-line versus the Cato, and these both look really good. I want to point out, and I'll have pictures of all of this stuff in detail, comparing the brands and everything on my Facebook page. I'll put a link in the description, and there should be one on the screen right now to my Facebook page, and I'll have all this stuff shared up, and I'll share some pictures on. You get a knife?
Got fingernails.
So you guys can actually compare them up front, and I want to hear what you guys have to say. I want to hear your comments and everything. But we've got, looks like 3 5-packs and a 3-pack left, and so I want to get these guys out of here so we can get those unboxed. Oh, does someone want a knife?
They don't let me have sharp things.
I got my tote and ship in Boy Scouts. I can use a knife.
They won't let me have sharp things. How the heck is this one? It's yours.
I gotta say, both those sets roll very freely. Now, I'm really looking forward to seeing these. I haven't had an Athearn review in quite some time. I'm not a big fan of Athearn Intermodal. If you remember several years ago, I did a review comparing some Athearn and Walthers Intermodal cars, and I'll drop a link for that. But it didn't go well for Athearn. I had a lot of derailments, a lot of issues.
Okay, looking at it, ready out of the box, the first initial thing. It's an Athearn, okay, and
which isn't always a bad thing either.
If you're an Athearn fan, you'll love them forever. and there's nothing wrong with them. I've got a lot of them. Okay, I've had problems. The only things I can say with Atherns, with heavy trains, again, where the hook right here is, where you're attaching it to the next car, where it sits on the truck and shares it, I'll snap these right off. That's not a whole lot of fun. So, but the car, again, it's got plastic coupler. It does have steel wheels, steel axles. It is a plastic car. I'm not holding that against them on that, because you can actually, you know, put your weight in your containers. If you're going to run them empty, you might not want to put that at the front of the train if it's long. So, but other than that, it's not a bad car. It's got good detail.
So my big thing, my big bone to pick with Athearn is, in the past I've always had issues with where the screws go in, cracking, splitting, trucks either being warped or not sitting right, and really having to put some time in to clean them up. I'm really looking forward to seeing how these do, this being a more recent release. In fact, they're releasing another set next year, but the price is going up significantly. I'm talking about $200 and some. If you ask me, that's just too much for these. I got these. These are the second to last run. These are the most recent available.
Is that the price center?
These were $150. And if you look right now on their website, I'll drop a link. But last I checked, it was like $200. It's unreal what these cars are going for these days. Okay, so we got B, C, D, and E.
This is kind of like Christmas, by the way.
This is a lot of fun. I haven't had this much fun just unboxing trains and getting a good look at them, playing with them.
Here's my favorite, right here.
Yes, the twin stacks. I've never had a set of twin stacks in my life, so I'm looking forward to this. I do want to say, everything out of the box has rolled very well so far. I'm happy with it, but those Atherns, you can just feel them so light and bouncy. How do they look? I don't even know. Those could be used. I bought them at Husky's trains, so they very well could be used, but I was hoping they're kind of like new. They look new in box.
They look new. They're clean enough. No, the detail on the sides of the piping, that looks nice. The end of the car, as far as the way the brake wheel works, all those kind of things, that looks nice. Steel wheels, steel axles, that's good. Again, don't compare my layout to yours, but plastic couplers, again, unfortunately. But other than that, I'm in love with these things, so I am really thrilled with those.
Actually, I think these are used because those are metal couplers, and the coupler boxes have been kind of butchered up a little bit. But I think someone bought them, put the couplers on.
Plastic.
You sure?
Yeah.
This one sure looks metal.
Even without my glasses, I was like, that's plastic.
Oh, those are KDs. They got the trip pins cut off.
Need my glasses.
He needs his glasses.
I need my glasses. Okay.
Don't hold it against him. He's a nice guy. So looking up closer, again, with the brake wheel, everything, even for the time, these are really nice. I think the only thing I would like to see change would be the see-through walkways, which I can always modify afterwards. And then kind of ugly, but you've got the big screw coming through over here. I mean, I get it. They use it for that, but everyone else does a better job of having a nice piece to hold the next car on. But you've got all your braking equipment, all the rigging and everything within the wells or the container holding area, which is really nice. But there's a lot of just lettering everywhere. It's just beautiful. Now, something interesting, and I want to bring this up because this is important to me. Intermodal is looking at doing another run of these, but they do not have enough pre-orders as of right now to make it happen. I'm going to drop some links both in the description and in the video so you guys can see what I'm talking about, the models that are coming available, and some great places to order them from, because I want to see this happen. I love these cars. I would love to get some more, and this is a great way to do it. So let's see. Now I got to get these in order. C.
Still learning his alphabet. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Having fun.
I gotta make sure I can find the right letter here. So for those of you who don't know, A-Line is its own company, and these cars are assembled by Intermodal. Is that correct?
Now that I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's how it was working. All right. So what do we have next? Looks like we've got the Atlas Providence Worcester.
Yep, and she's looking good. We got metal walkways. That's looking good. The details that I'm seeing right now are very impressive. It is a light car. It is all plastic, but they have good detail. They don't have as much piping and things like the other ones are showing toward the ends of the cars. A little more basic that way, but all in all, the car is actually, what is the price?
It's on the front here.
Okay.
120 is list and on sale $96.
96.
So $31 or $32 a car.
Myself, okay, and this is me, and I'm cheap. I'm gonna tell you,
ooh, that is low.
myself, if I was, I'll have to think about this if I was gonna go and down to a show and just snatch it off a table at the cost of like this. But it's an outstanding car. Don't get it wrong. This is nice. This is, everything about it is nice. Steel wheels,
plastic couplers.
Plastic couplers, but the detail on it, they did all right. The markings on the side, as far as all the info signs and all that, is clear and it's all legible. So, I mean, you can't knock them for doing a good job. There's a few things that, for this guy, I would have a little trouble with. But other than that, it's a good car.
I can't get them together.
You can't get them together.
I can't get them together because there's a little piece here that's stopping this from going on.
Let me get you a hammer.
I might need it.
Drill.
Let me try this one. Maybe I'm just seeing it wrong or something, but it's not. Okay, that one fit. I think this one's just warped. Yeah, I think it's just warped. So I have to use a little bit more force than I'm comfortable with, but I don't think it's broke. I don't think it's broke. We will find out. But that is even lighter than the Athearn, isn't it?
That is really light. It's feather light.
I had some people comment in another video and on some posts about how poor the Atlas cars are because of the weight. And again, you can update your cars by adding weight in the containers. But then if you start changing containers out and stuff, you have to make sure that the car on the container on the bottom has the weight, not the one on the top, and that certain cars get them that need them. If you're like me, I don't think you should have to do that. I think you should be able to just pull out your cars, put the containers in that you want, and they should all work just fine. That doesn't happen. So that's why I'm doing this series of videos. And we got to wrap this up. We're at 38 minutes already.
Holy Jiminy Christmas. Okay,
so we got one set left.
Okay, this is ready to run Athearns. Again, details, spectacular details on the end of car. Light, feather light, really light. Okay, but the details, they're there. They're a really nice looking car. The piping on the sides looks good. The detail as far as inside the side of the body looks good. I mean, the walkways, they're all perforated or metal. Look great. Plastic couplers, unfortunately, but steel wheels, very good. Car, to me, that's not a bad car whatsoever. I don't know how much we're talking. Need my glasses again. Wow. Okay. Sale price $135. It is a featherlight car.
All right. So something I want to say to what he was saying. There is a lot more detail on these than on previous ready to runs. If you guys have been watching, it's even got train line hoses right there. So for those of you who have been paying attention to what's going on lately in the model railroad market, Athearn now has Roundhouse, Athearn Ready to Roll, and then Athearn Genesis and Genesis 2.0. And so it seems like they're stepping up to the 2.0, and Athearn Ready to Roll is starting to get more detail. There's putting Tsunami 2 sound in the Ready to Roll now. So it's going to be interesting because the rail cars like this are starting to get upgrades. You can even see the piping along the side is separately applied, and it is cast in color, it looks like. Brake wheel is a slightly different color. Maybe it's a safety orange or something. But these are actually shockingly nice cars. I would say shockingly nice compared to like the last set over here, which was an older run and does not have that same level of detail. I just want to pop this guy off here real quick. Because these are the same line of cars from Athearn. So here you can see you got see-through walkways, not see-through walkways, hand-applied details on this one, not so much on this guy. I mean, you've got this stuff here, you've got the grab irons here, but this has got so much more detail on it. These are nice. These I would like to see work well. And honestly, I feel like these are going to do better than I expect. They're actually probably, these are heavier than the Huskies. These are, feel it.
Oh yeah, they are.
I mean, it could just be the trucks at the end. So here, pick up one of those.
Well,
Pick up that guy and tell me what it is.
they're close. They're really close.
Okay, so maybe it's just because this one's got a second set of trucks.
But this is also a shorter car than
Here,
the
hold
other
it
one.
back up a little bit more. There we go.
This
I can
one's
see it.
a shorter car. I mean, you look at right here where the coupler is and where that's going to be, or a substantially shorter car.
So it's going to be interesting to see how these do. I think with smaller radiuses, these cars are going to handle a little bit better. And that's something, I think that's probably the biggest takeaway in my experience with Intermodal, with well cars and stuff, is you need to buy stuff that complements your railroad. On a layout this size, you can run anything and, you know, not worry about it. But when you're working on a smaller layout, like a 4x8, you'll want these. These are going to look enormous. These will look okay. But that's something you got to take into account. So,
I just wish, I guess I'll never get my wish, but if they had cars ready to run, if you will, that were properly weighted, so you didn't have to add weight to your containers, that the containers are always kind of figured in, okay, it's going to be plus or minus or like a half an ounce or so with the containers, you know. That would be outstanding, because you want to pick switches and you want to have a derailment. On the other side of my basement, you could be standing where I'm at right now and go on the other side of the mountains to the far side of the basement here, and you don't see the trains over there. And if you got the trains set out and are on their way, and all of a sudden you hear something going bang, crunch, you don't really like that, obviously. But picking switches, you need to have heavier cars so you don't do that. And I wish you got that out of the manufacturers.
include it. All right, so we're back. We're going to talk a little bit about how we're ranking these cars. So if you're looking at this, I've got the labels facing you. You probably can't read them, but we're going to go top to bottom, our favorite to least favorite. We're not going to say we hate that car. It's just not our favorite. And I think we're ranking this by overall value. An initial review. We haven't run any of these yet, except for my weathered cars. But we haven't tested. We haven't begun any testing. This is just the unboxing. What quality looks like, what the price looks like compared to that quality right now. But you start off. You go first.
Okay. Well, if we're going to be talking about the 5-packs, what got me, because of the quality and the things that they presented to me, which I thought were standout issues, the Walthers mainline, it grabbed me straight away. I was pretty darn pleased with what I saw. For the price, it's probably right in there. A-line. Okay, I've got a soft spot in my heart for A-line because I've got several of these Gundersen high-ended cars. Really love them. I got a real soft spot. They're a little light, yeah. Detail is real good. So if I was going to say value for the dollar, I like it, but I'm again partial. But I love this thing. Very good job they did. Then if we're going to go down the line, the next one here, this was nice. It's lighter, but you know, it's the ready to runs from Athearn. The details were fine, and I would not be scared of them. So it's something to consider. The other one where he was talking about this oversized box, to me it's light. And the details, Athearn has got some that are better than others, but I'm not going to downgrade them because everybody's budget is totally different. So with that, I wouldn't be scared of them, but I would myself. It all depends on, I guess, if you're in this world considered a rivet counter, and some guys are, and they're so picky on what it has to be. But when in the first time it hits the floor, what happened to rivet counting? It's because now it's broke. So, and you just paid how much? So those are my favorites in order on 5. And Sean had also kind of looked at this same as myself, and why we're off the air for a moment. 3 cars. Okay, A-Line, you got me. It's a heavy enough car. The details are there, and I'm more than happy to put this on my layout. Absolutely. Cato, you sold me. Cato's always been a favorite of mine, and I will continue to always promote the Catos. It was a heavy enough car. Steel wheels, loved them. Detail was there. It was heavy enough to show me that it was worthy of staying on the track. The Walthers 3-part car, liked it. It was okay. I mean, it's just the same as the Walthers has been for years, but it's a tried and true. It's proved its worth, and I would not be totally scared of it. I think the worth-wise is fine. Atlas, you got a nice product, guys, but it's light. Detail is okay. The couplers, a little on the light side as well. I like it. You had some good details. Absolutely. You got metal walkways on it. Outstanding. You're right there. But again, if I was going to pick in my order, which we just did, sorry guys, but you didn't make it to my top 5. So there you go.
All right. Next up, we got the singles.
Singles. And this is where Sean and I fought. You didn't see us on the camera, but we were on the floor just wailing on each other. But I know it hurts. I mean, it doesn't bruise. But
His
anyways,
face didn't get any worse.
It didn't. I got a face for a radio. But anyways, Rapido. Here it is. Honest as I can be on this. I never heard of Rapido until probably about a year ago. Okay, fine. I'm behind. But Rapido, what you showed me so far, you have a heavy car. The detail is magnificent. The writing on the sides of the vehicle, as far as reporting marks, all those kind of things, you were top shelf all the way across the board. Really liked you. I wouldn't go bad with this one at all. Walthers mainline, you're right there, right behind Rapido. You guys showed me exactly what I wanted to see out of a car as a single car. And this is the one that had correct. It was the weathering on it.
Yeah, and it was also the least expensive of everything here.
Yeah. So if you're going to say which one's better, it's like chicken and the egg. Really like this one. This was number 1 for me. But this one here, to me, is the graffiti. Oh, no, sorry. Didn't say graffiti, did I? But the weathering, absolutely outstanding.
So, not to take away from the car, but we're not trying to count the weathering because that was added afterwards. We're going off of the factory model. But I think the big thing is the price difference. This is $15 more. It's almost twice the price, but you're getting so much more detail. You've still got the steel wheels and axles, metal couplers. You've got everything that I want in a car. Everything. And this is an amazing value. I think you can still even find some of the cancer cars if you're looking at the cancer awareness cars, which are really cool. If I can find one, I'll get one. If you have one you're looking to sell, let me know. Message or comment down in the below the video, and I'd love to get in touch. But an amazing car overall. We'll get back to this one in a little bit. Continue on.
Okay. Here we go. Walthers Proto. Good car. Nice and heavy. This one here took the lead over this one for the simple reason of had the trailer 5th wheel plates in either end of the car. Otherwise, the cars were exactly the same. But this one here gave you just a little bit more detail. If you're looking to stick a semi in the well car and take it for a ride, this is the one that's going to get you there. This one here just made an awful nice car. So at that point, that's the only difference between the two. Outstanding cars. fairly good weight to them, and they had good things to talk. Everything we talked about earlier, it's true.
I'm gonna pause real quick right there. I want to say again, the biggest. You're probably looking at us laughing, saying, "Why is this below the main line?" And again, it's about overall product value for the price.
Yeah.
This is a very nice car. It's got more detail, but with the you put a little weathering, you put a little something into it, you put the containers on it when the train's rolling down the tracks. You don't see that much, and it's really got a pop. So I mean, this car would be on one side or the other of these, and I just think it's here because it's one of my favorites. It'll work on a 4x8 layout. It'll work everywhere. It's a shorter car overall, and it's a huge value.
Well, but how many people are out there with an airbrush anymore? You just don't see guys doing it. So, ready to run stuff more. If you got it on there, people really will gravitate toward that direction. So, that being said,
yeah, stop being biased towards the graffiti stuff.
I'm sorry, I like graffiti, but anyway, ready to head upside down. How about that? I could read it. You can't. Ready to roll. This is now second from the bottom. It was light. The details were not bad. There were a number of things that we kind of said we would like to see better on cars. If these guys could step it up a little bit, they could probably make it up the list a little better, and I hope that they will consider that. So here it is. I'm sorry, Intermountain, but Intermountain, to me, excuse me, you've had a very light car for many years, and detail, you're okay. You're fine. There's things that I would say Intermountain could do to really step it up, to be in the game with like a Rapido and things like that. They've been around for a good long time. There's nothing wrong with their product, but you're very, very light. If you want to stay on the tracks, you're going to have to weight this thing down a lot, or have an awful lot of weight in your containers. And like I said earlier, I just wish that manufacturers would make cars more to a scale weight for operations. It'd make life a lot easier for the hobbyists.
And I do want to comment again on the Intermountain versus the Athearn. I mean, I don't want to say virtually identical. This had a little bit more lettering on it, but the Athearn overall had better features. Yeah. Steel axles, steel wheels, plastic couplers. But the big thing Intermountain was lacking was the actual holes that the containers sit in, so that they're not sliding around. Every other model here has that. Their wells on the inside had nothing for those containers to latch onto. Most containers, the Aurora miniatures don't have them, but Athearn, Atlas, everyone else has containers with little nubs in the bottom that sit into the holes. And this didn't have them. So I'd hate to say it, but I almost want to say this guy's out of the running right from the get-go. You can't hardly use it. It's so light. It's overpriced for what it is, and it won't even hold a container without it sliding around. I'd hate to say it, but this isn't gonna get far in the review, I don't think. Overall, if you had to pick one favorite from all of this, from the top, that you would say will do better than everything else, or just your favorite car overall, what would it be? Which one?
Well, I'm going to look for something heavy. Performance-wise, I'm going to have to say it's going to have to be in the area of possibly the Cato for the weight, performance-wise, or geez, a couple of them are right on neck to neck here, guys. Rapido, by far the best as far as weight. I'm looking forward for the performance. I think Cato is going to be right behind it somewhere. If I was going to go with the 5-packs, yeah, it's probably going to be the Walthers mainline again. They provided an awful lot, but again, you want a heavier car, and I think they were kind of getting into that. Even though my favorite, is not. I'm not saying it's in the running like the A lines. That is my favorite. I got a weak spot, I know, but it needs to be maybe just a little bit heavier, but other than that, it's right there. So I'm going to say A-line, Cato, and then probably, Intermountain tied with the
Walthers.
Walthers and A-line probably has a neck and neck.
All right, so single personal favorite, everything aside, your favorite car for whatever reason, which one? Pick one. That's my choice.
Rapido.
I can't say I disagree with anything that Dave has said that we've talked about. Everything's pretty much spot on. It is what you see. And this is initial quality. Again, we've got 3 other videos of testing. I'm sorry this one took so long. There was actually a lot to look at here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 15 products here?
Yeah.
13 products here, excuse me.
We got, if you were to cite down the tracks, you got...
There's a lot. We got a couple of trains here.
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to run them. So, I mean, this was not a cheap endeavor. Some of this stuff I had already, but a lot of this I recently picked up just for this review. So it's huge shout out to Superior Scenics for helping me out, and also to Hiawatha Hobbies for helping out, locating and getting some of this stuff. Like I said, I got a couple. I got the Atlas cars from Spring Creek. They're super nice. But Hiawatha's been a huge sponsor for this video too, so shout out to Glenn at Hiawatha Hobbies for them. And I think that's it. Any closing comments?
Not really so much. I mean, I just like what Sean is sitting there saying. Thank you for all your support for all these companies that are, I guess, willingness to take our sarcasm and grief that we throw at you. But all in all, you guys got pretty good products. So everybody's got their favorites. So I hope that we help you in your decisions of what you go and do in the future. I'm lucky to have the size layout that I do, and if anybody's got smaller lights, well, I have talked to a lot of guys with small layouts in my business. And yeah, room is everything. So guys, if you're looking for cars like here, these what is it? Put my glasses on.
Which ones?
Stacks.
Oh, those.
Maxi
that's
stacks.
Athearn.
Maxi stacks. Those are shorter cars, and if you got yourself, if you're an 18-inch radius guy, you've got a lot of difficulty. You don't want long cars. You're not pulling, 86 footers. You're not doing that. These would work. These would complement a smaller layout nicely. So, if that's what you're looking for, I think you got winners here on the table.
All right, so last thing I want to point out is 2 things, and we got to make this quick. Was there anything that surprised you in this? Was there one that stood out that surprised you that you didn't expect?
Yeah, a couple of them, the weight. And that's my big thing. I want heavy cars that stay on the track and don't get picked on a switch. And there's a couple of them that were just fantastic. So again, you're right back to the Rapido, ain't that something? But there's a couple other ones that were awfully good in that same manner. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
I think my pleasant surprise was probably, honestly, the Athearn. The Maxi stacks? The Maxi ones? I did not expect those to be as nice as they were. I figured Athearn is Athearn, and I'm going to have the same issues forever that I've always had. I haven't had Athearn for years. I mean, years. So, I was shocked to see those. But that's going to be it for this video. I apologize for those of you who are looking for scale trains. I was not able to acquire any for this video. I had an opportunity at the Madison show, and I thought I'd be able to go back to Hiawatha, snag them up, but they were sold out. And I contacted Exactrail about trying to get something from the next one earlier. But what we are going to do is when they do come out, we're going to compare them with all the information we've gathered here, and we're going to run them with some of these cars. So again, thank you again for watching. Don't forget, check out SuperiorScenics.com. For every $25 you spend before shipping and tax, you get 1 entry into winning probably a couple of these sets, a $25 gift certificate for Superior Scenics.
Yep.
And I'm going to go pick out a new locomotive for you guys. You'll probably see that in one of the next episodes coming up. So again, check out SuperiorScenics.com. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.
Bye.